Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Benke. Buenas tardes. We listened to a very informative presentation earlier by Ambassador Rosado. His presentation was supposed to be the facts of the case, but I heard reasons for not going, for going to the ICJ. Now, the problem we find here is that while all of us agree that we need to solve this problem, we in Belize, our government, has negotiated a bad deal. This document, the special agreement that Ambassador Rosado never mentioned, is the contract. It is the contract by which we will be going to the ICJ. So tonight I will speak to you about why we should not go under this special agreement. Are we talking here, going to the ICJ, about a solution, or are we talking about drinking a poisoned chalice? Drinking a poisoned chalice simply because we'll be offering something great, something that looks good, but something that in the end will hurt us. And I will try to explain why. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Belizeans, not because of the British, not because of the Guatemalan elite, not because of anybody else, but because of God's goodness. It is God's goodness that gave this land to us. And so we must appreciate that. We have the human rights. We have the right to live free where we were born. This is a generational struggle. It's not only the other day that we had this problem. This problem has existed for 150 years, 157 years to be exact. And so our parents and we have all struggled here. Blood, sweat, and tears. We deserve Belize. We must fight for Belize. So it is a generational struggle. It is an issue not of territory, my friends. It is an issue of self-determination. Whether we're willing to go back to addition for slavery in front of a foreign court, or we're willing to take up the task of doing nation building. That's the question we have. So, right now you have the power. You have the power to make that decision. Will we go to the ICJ and bend over to the ICJ for mercy, for our own existence, or will we, as a people, stand up to defend ourselves and stand up for our rights? Ladies and gentlemen, this document here that you see is the special agreement. It is the grand contract. It is the terms of reference by which we go to the ICJ. There we go. Technical difficulties again. Okay. Look like we always technical difficulties. Okay, can we go ahead? Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the terms of reference, and I want to say something that you need to know. It is a treaty. It is a treaty equal to the 1859 treaty. I say this because Article 9 tells us that in fact it has been elevated to a treaty pursuant to Article 102 of the United Nations Charter. You can look at Article 9 in this document. It is a treaty. It is a treaty that binds us to Guatemala on certain terms. This special agreement remains in force unless and until terminated by agreement of the parties. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are bound to Guatemala, whether we like it or not at this point in time. That is a fact. We will not be able to get out of this unless Belize and Guatemala sits together to make a deal to get out of it. It gives us a little advantage here because Guatemala, by voting yes, is bound over the peace. Guatemala cannot get out of it unless we say they can. And at the same time, we have a little advantage here that even if we vote no in this first round, listen to me carefully, even if we vote no in this first round, we do not forfeit the opportunity to go to the ICJ with Guatemala. If we vote no in the first round, in this first voting, then we have an opportunity. I say this, that because the claim has not been defined, then we will have an opportunity to get together with Guatemala to say, listen, our people don't like this secrecy of yours. We need to know what you're claiming. And so it would be a good idea to get your claim on paper, get another protocol, and then put this thing to the people again. Okay, so we need not hurry. We need not hurry at all. Okay? Good. Let me get you to this special agreement. This is exactly what it says. You will notice it's complicated to read. But I've highlighted some of the things for you, is that the parties request the court, that is Belize and Guatemala, and the rules of international law, to listen to any and all claims of Guatemala against Belize, to declare the rights therein of both parties, and to determine the boundaries of Belize. To determine the boundaries of Belize. You hear me carefully? To determine the boundaries of Belize. Okay. I will tell you a little bit about this issue called the boundaries, the rights therein. Lots of us are confused about the rights, and I guess there might be several interpretations. What are the rights of Belize? What are the rights of Guatemala in the territory of Belize? Now, the place that we've met that before, listen, history teaches us something, and if we don't consider what has happened in the past, then we're bound to repeat the mistakes. So I will give you what happened in 1981. There was such a document similar to this one, or it wasn't a treaty yet, it was just an agreement between the British and Belize and Guatemala. The heads of agreement were about rights, were about Guatemalan rights in Belize. It read like this: Guatemala shall be accorded territorial seas with rights over the seabed thereunder. Guatemala shall have use and enjoyment of the Ranguana and Sapadini Keys. Guatemala shall be entitled to free port facilities in Belize City and Punta Gorda. Guatemala shall have freedom of transit on roads in Belize. And I'm just summarizing this one. Guatemala has the right to operate pipelines between Guatemala and Belize City, Dangriga, and Punta Gorda. Those are only a few of them. There were 16 heads. At the end of the day, the British were the one to profit from it. I bring you back to this because there were heroes then. People like Odinga Lumumba, a patriot, a rebel without pause. Socorro Bobadilla, a student activist, patriot. Mr. Philip Wilson, a national patriot. You see, my friends, these people stood up in the time of the heads of agreement and said to the Belize government, as much as we love George Price, and he wanted independence so badly that he was willing to sign that special agreement, that heads of agreement, they told him, no, you ain't gonna sign this. And for 37 years thereafter, Belize enjoyed peace. Not only peace, but freedom from a forced marriage with Guatemala. So, he said many things, but I'll skip that due to time. Lumumba said many things. So the special agreement, let us get to understand what this says, and why you should not go to the ICJ under this agreement, because it's a bad agreement. It is there to hear any and all claims of Guatemala against Belize to land, keys, and sea areas. This, my friends, is a violation of our human dignity. Slavery has passed, my friends. Colonialism is done. And we should not bend over. We should not be in front of any court to beg for our destiny. We should be dictating our own destiny. The second thing it says is to declare rights for Guatemala within Belize. I told you about what some of those rights could be. That has been said already in 1981. That is a violation of our sovereignty, our ownership. How many of you would like me to have rights just because I take you to the court to use your bathrooms and your kitchens, places of private facility? Now, that is wrong if you just to give people rights over your area. To determine the boundaries of our country, my friends, that is a violation of our territorial integrity. That is not right for us to go to the ICJ with this document. Believe it or not, that is what this document specifies. So, to point out some of the flaws of it, it says any and all legal claims. That is the claim for Guatemala. We don't know what Guatemala will claim. It's any and all. We are saying to Guatemala and the rest of the world, we are big enough. Belize is big enough. Belize is smart. Belize can take you and Guatemala and you, all your lives, and we can beat you with any claim you make. I'll say this to you, Belize, be careful. Don't be so cocky. Cocky people get hurt, and they get hurt badly. Any and all claims. Friends, we cannot help Guatemala if Guatemala does not say what it's claiming. Imagine they go to court with us and they make claims that we don't know about. We are not prepared for it. They give us 12 months under this agreement to prepare. Let us not be so cocky. The special agreement, I told you it was a treaty equal in force with the 1859 treaty. But it is opposite in direction.